welcome back. Today I'm making an apple pie snickerdoodle. So, I mean, who doesn't like a good snickerdoodle? So we are going to add some Granny Smith apples to this. So we have 5 Granny Smith apples that have been peeled, cored, and chopped. And to keep them from not turning brown, our little secret, I don't use the lemon juice. I don't like the little tart taste it might leave. Any sort of lemon lime soda works. I had Sprite on hand, so that's what we're using. And you just let them soak in the lemon lime soda, and it adds some sweetness to it. They do not turn brown. So these have been sitting here for a little while, still doing good. All right, let's go over our ingredients and then we'll start making our snickerdoodle. All right, so here we have our ingredients. Is 1 cup or 2 sticks of softened dairy-free unsalted butter. I'm using Country Crock's plant-based butter. And then we have 2 cups of organic sugar. We have a 1/2 cup of organic brown sugar, 2 large eggs. We have 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Our dry ingredients are going to be 3 cups of all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and 1 teaspoon of nutmeg. So let's get started. We're going to start with our wet ingredients. And we are going to cream together our butter, and our 2 sugars. So there's 1 cup of sugar. This is the organic sugar. There's our 2 cups and our 1/2 cup of organic brown sugar. Now this is going to take a while. Remember, if you watch my other videos making cakes and things, this is the process you don't want to skip on. You want it light and fluffy. Be patient, 5 to 7 minutes on a medium speed. Okay, so it has been 5 minutes, and this is what I mean by light and fluffy. We're going to scrape down our bowl. And to this, we are going to add, keep it all in, our eggs. And after every egg, we're going to make sure it mixes well. Okay, as you can see, it's mixed well. So we're going to add our second egg. And our last wet ingredient, we're going to add in our vanilla. All right, before we add our dry ingredients, we're going to scrape down this bowl one more time. All right. There we go. Now, for our dry ingredients, we have our 3 cups of flour, and to this we're going to add our baking powder, our nutmeg, and our cinnamon. And we're just going to quickly whisk these together. And on a low speed, so our flour doesn't go everywhere, we're going to slowly add our flour just until it's combined. It smells really good. All right. Get all the flour off. Get our beater off. All right, let's get our bowl detached here. Into this, we are going to add our chopped apples. Now, this is a lot of apples. I do like more apples in my recipes, in my apple recipes. So if you like fewer apples, it's up to you. If you want to use a Honey Crisp, if you want a sweeter apple, that is a nice meatier apple that would probably hold up in this. Okay, I hope I can fold these in. My bowl is not as big as I thought it would be. All right, so folding in, remember we just go down the center and come up and keep all our apples in there. Fuji and Gala, Red Delicious, those are softer apples. I would not use those in this recipe. All right. I said this is a lot of apples. Let's get down in there. If any apples escape, we'll just add them back in. I preheated the oven to 350 degrees, and I also prepared, runaway apple, a 9x13 baking pan. I went ahead and I cut out parchment paper. To keep the parchment paper in place, I do like to use this baking spray. I think I get this at Aldi's. I spray a little bit on the bottom so that it sticks. Then I also added a little extra on the parchment paper. This is a recipe that you can make a day in advance because it does need to cool completely in order to cut it into nice squares. All right. It smells delicious. All those spices in here. Such a warm, y'all can let me know if fall has come to your house, because here where we live, it has not. We are 80 degrees and very warm, where we should be in fall already. Now we're just gonna push this down a little bit. Flatten it all out, make it even. One thing I did learn baking cakes is you kind of want your sides a little more higher than the middle, because the middle is the part that rises, and then it doesn't. Sometimes your sides will overcook and get crispy before the middle is even done. Let's get this deliciousness on here. Okay, we do have a topping for our snickerdoodle here. It is 4 tablespoons of our organic sugar and 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. So we're ready to go in the oven, but beforehand, before we pop it in there and start baking her, we need to add this topping to it. A little more cinnamon, a little more sugar, a little bit of crunch. Where can we go wrong with this? All right, so we're gonna put her in our 350 degree oven where she's gonna bake for about 25 to 35 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean. All right, our apple snickerdoodle cake has cooled completely. All right, so we're gonna do this first because I know my husband was very confused with me. Why am I doing it upside down? But we gotta get the paper off. So let's go ahead, get that off. See? It's pretty sturdy here. All right, And we're just gonna put it on our board. There we go. That is it. Now, this has a nice crunchy crust on it. Let's take a look at it. I don't know if you can see all the little layers of apples and cake in there, but there it is. One more. It's really almost like a coffee cake. I wanted some good coffee cakes. All right, give this a try. So let's see how we did. It's got the seasoning and a flavor of the snickerdoodle, but the texture of, like I said, more of a coffee cake. We're gonna call it a snickerdoodle coffee cake. And it is delicious. With a cup of coffee, a scoop of ice cream, some whipped cream. Yeah, dairy-free whipped cream. This is really good. So I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.